rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. You can be seated. Just a reminder, make sure everyone silence your cell phones. But welcome to today's meeting. Item number 1 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I will move that.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Dietrich. Any discussion or changes? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes 4-0. Supervisor Nelson won't be with us today. He's out at the county fair with his kids. So, moving on to the consent agenda, items 2 through 5 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 2 is approval of the minutes from the July 22nd, 2025 meeting. Number 3 is approval of claims. Number 4 from Human Resources, Melissa Thomas. Item A is approval of memorandum of personnel transactions. Item B is approval of request to deauthorize county positions. Item C is approval of a new Clerk 3 position in the Building Services Department. Item 5 from Board Administration, Heather Satterwhite-Vincicle. Item A is approval of property notice of sale resolution for parcel ending in 1002, aka 2114 Geneva Street on Tuesday, August 12th at 4:35 p.m. Item B is approval of the notice of property sale resolution for parcel ending in 2001, aka 1322 Summit Street for Tuesday, August 12th at 4:37 p.m. Item C is approval of the notice of property sale resolution for parcel ending in 4003, aka 407 13th Street for Tuesday, August 12th at 4:38 p.m. Item D is approval of the notice of property sale resolution for parcel ending in 4002, aka 1302 Douglas Street for Tuesday, August 12th at 4:39 p.m. And item E is approval of the notice of property sale resolution for parcel ending in 8001, aka 1218 through 22 Douglas Street for Tuesday, August 12th at 4:40 p.m. And that ends the consent agenda, and I will move that.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Dietrich. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. All right, brings us to item 6 from Secondary Roads, Laura Severs. Item A is to receive bids for surplus equipment purchase.
Good afternoon. We have some surplus equipment, 2 single axle trucks, 1 Ford tractor, a brush chipper, Oliver disc, and garden disc. And I was wondering if the board would accept the bid summaries that we have on those items.
Yep. I'll move to receive.
A second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Dietrich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
We only had 2 bids that met the reserve, both from the city of Ottawa, Lonnie Campbell. For the 2007 single axle dump truck, we had a bid amount of $22,501.01. And on the 2009 Freightliner single axle truck, we had $23,501.01. The other items, there was one other bid that didn't meet the reserve, and the other ones didn't have anything bid. I still think it was worth doing this. It offered the equipment to the locals before we put it up on an online auction site, so.
Okay, all right. I'll move to receive the bids.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Carper. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0.
So then I would also recommend that we accept those 2 bids that were above the reserve.
I'll move to accept the 2 bids for the 2007 International and the 2009 Freightliner bidder Lonnie Campbell.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Dietrich, second by Carper. All right, discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. All right.
Laura, a quick question on the rest of those there. The one that did receive a bid on the stuff that?
The tractor did.
The tractor did. Is it something that we want to accept, or do you think that'd be better
I
off
think
being
it's too low. I think putting something on, Tractor House or Gov Deals or something like that would be a better
Okay,
number for us.
all right.
Okay, sounds good. All right, item C is approval of quitclaim deed.
Can I just clarify? The first motion was to receive the document. The second motion was to receive the bids on the document?
Yes,
And the
correct.
third motion was item B, correct? To
Correct.
award the bid?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Audra. All right, item C is approval of quitclaim deed for street and alley right-of-ways in the platted town of Luton for Jeffrey L. and Rosemary A. Crabber.
Yes, property owner owns all touching property along this alleyway that has never become used with vehicles or anything like that, so this would just be a quick claim deed to that landowner that owns all the surrounding property. Sorry, the landowner is Jeffrey L. and Rosemary Graber.
All right. Any comments, questions? Okay.
I'll move to approve the quitclaim deed for Jeffrey L. and Rosemary A. Graber.
All right, I'll second that. So motion by Dietrich, second by Bittinger. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. And item D is approval to redirect the funding from the granular budget to new equipment budget to purchase pup trailers.
Right, so we've been on this gravel road project for a couple years now, and we are moving it along, but, I feel like we could do better. And so this would just be moving money from what we use in granular maintenance to buying trailers for the tandem trucks so that they can haul material pretty much almost equal to what a semi can haul. That way, our snowplow trucks are even more efficient for us in the summer months when they're doing our granular gravel hauling. Each trailer costs about $75,000. We have 3 new trucks coming, and we have already had those trucks built to be able to pull trailers. I feel like it's more efficient. Fuel efficiency does go down just a real little bit, but still, you can't buy time. There's only so much time in a day. There's only so many rounds they can do in a day. A lot of the gravel roads that need to be covered now are definitely hauling more from the material on the east side of the county all the way to the west side of the county. So if the board would be all right with it, I can find the money within my budget to do this project and to buy those 3 trailers if you guys feel that that'd be a good thing.
Ryan, you've reviewed all this? Any input?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Because, I discussed it with her, and we can do a budget amendment to move it from where she's requesting it for the purchase.
All right.
The only other thing is in the backup information, they had quoted us a higher number, but if we bought 3 trailers, they were willing to do that $75,000 a trailer. So would you want to accept the new quote
I think so,
for
yeah.
those?
Yeah, I'll move to receive.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Dietrich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 4-0.
So Laura, quick question on this, because I guess anybody that's watching or thinking about it for gravel roads, and I think I read what you sent out. It's not taken away from the gravel road, that gravel that's being put down to the 6-inch base. It's just for the piles that we have for use at other times.
Correct. Sorry, I didn't mention that. So the funding was going to be coming from, we usually use private haulers at some point to stockpile different locations throughout the county, so there's no less money going to the gravel road project. This was just probably not needing to use private haulers this year.
Yeah, okay. Nope, that
Good
makes
question,
sense. I will move to redirect the funding from the granular budget to the new equipment budget to purchase the pup trailers.
Second that.
All right. Motion by Dietrich, second by Carver. All right, any further discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
All right, some good stuff there. All right, it's 4:40 PM, so it's on to our 4:40 PM set time. Item A is to conduct second public hearing to amend the zoning ordinance to include nuclear energy facilities, nuclear waste storage, and related uses as allotted or conditional uses in specific zoning districts, such as the general industrial zoning district, while addressing prohibitions, public notification requirements, and necessary updates to definitions in the ordinance structure and related changes. So with that, before we open the public hearing, Dan, why don't you come up and just, once again, kind of give us an overview of what this is about and what it isn't about, yeah.
Yes, Daniel Priestley, zoning coordinator. Just to be abundantly clear about this process, we don't have any specific projects. This is a permitting procedure that the county would have a framework in place should we ever get any potential future applications. The Zoning Commission had recommended a conditional use permit process to go through the Zoning Commission and the Board of Adjustment for consideration of a permit restricted specifically to the general industrial areas within Woodbury County, primarily south of the airport, west of Interstate 29 corridor, east of the Missouri River. So this specific procedure is a recommendation that came forward from the commission so that the county would be placed in a position to be able to look at applications and have a procedure that is in recognition of the other levels of government, including the NRC and the state, to have a concrete review process.
Right, to be able to approve or deny.
Yes,
Correct,
it's
right.
a conditional use permit can sometimes be construed as a maybe in terms of scrutinizing an area, whether to see if it's appropriate or not.
Right.
So it creates or establishes or enhances a review framework in order to understand once an application, if we ever get one, if the area or neighborhood is proposed, that there is a public process that we encounter the permitting procedures where there's public input and consideration across the board. So again, tonight's process is about having a framework. It's not about a nuclear plant application.
Correct. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. All right. With that, as always, we'll open up here the public hearing. We want to hear your comments. Just remember, you get 3 minutes. Please come to the mic, just name, and that's all we need. And you have 3 minutes to state your case. And so, yeah, with that, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing and just come to the microphone, and our auditor will time you, and go ahead.
Maria Rehnquist, 3131 Norman Drive, Sioux City, Iowa, 51104. I'm against these applications, and I will like you to deny the application. I have 10 cons of nuclear energy. I'm not going to read these 4 pages. I'm just highlighting why we shouldn't have a nuclear plant in Woodbury County. Number 1 is the nuclear waste. The nuclear waste remains for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. Number 2, nuclear proliferation. It will increase the likelihood of proliferation of nuclear weapons. Number 3, national security. Nuclear power plants are a potential target for terrorist operations. Number 4, accidents. Human error, natural disasters can lead to dangerous and costly accidents. You all remember 1986, Chernobyl. Okay. Number 5, the impacts on local communities and ecosystems. Nuclear power plants would use enormous amounts of water as a coolant. Which water we're going to use? The Missouri River. Number 6, energy production. The 440 nuclear power plants currently in existence provide about 9% of the world's energy. Number 7, not enough sites in the county. Scaling up to 4,500 nuclear plants is not possible simply due to limitations of feasible sites. Number 8 is cost. Nuclear costs are on the rise, and many plants are being shut down or in danger of being shut down for economic reasons. And who paid the cost? We all the taxpayers. Number 9, competition with renewables. That will draw funding away from investment in cleaner sources, such wind, solar, and geothermal sources. Number 10, energy dependence of poor countries.
Okay. That is the 3 minutes, so if you want to wrap up, yeah.
Okay.
Please.
You are aware of regulations, oversight, and investment in safety when it comes to nuclear powers. I recommend to all of you to deny this nuclear power project.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. All right. And, well, yeah, just come to Mike, and all we need is just your name, yeah, just, yeah, we don't need address. So.
Rita Iverson, and I timed myself at home, so no worries.
You're good.
I'm here to speak against putting a nuclear power plant in Woodbury County if the zoning is changed, and I have 5 reasons. Number 1, radioactive waste. Nuclear waste requires long-term storage, posing a significant environmental challenge. Radioactive waste will be stored in 2 locations for centuries. The half-life of uranium isotopes is 4.5 billion years. That's 4.5 billion years for half of the radioactive waste to become harmless. According to international reporting, the capping system at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, which I'm sure you remember, has already begun leaking and needs repairs. That plant accident happened only 25 years ago, not 4.5 billion. Chernobyl, in addition, is in Ukraine, a country that's in the midst of a war with Russia. Number 2, high upfront costs. Buildings of nuclear power plants are expensive, typically $6 to $9 billion. The state of Georgia recently built 2 plants. The projected cost was $7 billion each. The final cost turned out to be $15 billion each. The plants opened in 2023 and 2024. Who pays for these huge costs? The taxpayers. Their electric bills went up 40%. The developer is suing the state of Georgia for unpaid bills. Georgia taxpayers will take another financial hit. The cost for nuclear plants has tripled since 2005 and is predicted to continue to rise. Basic build times used to be 10 years. Now builds are up as long as 10, 15, 20, or even 30 years. Construction and financing extends over time, so costs accelerate. In contrast to the rising costs of nuclear plants, the cost of solar has fallen 83% since 2009, and onshore wind turbines have declined in cost by 63%. According to a 2025 United Nations report just released this month, 92.5% of new global construction in 2024 was renewables, sun, wind, and water. Number 3, accident risk. While rare, accidents at nuclear power plants have severe consequences: death at the plant, terminal cancers in the following years. If there was a nuclear accident here, people and animals living within the 10-mile radius would need to be evacuated. Radioactive particles in the air are severely dangerous to your health. People living within a 50-mile radius would possess unsafe food from gardens and fields and unsafe water. They would also face evacuation. So, to put it in perspective, people living in 15 counties in the tri-state area would be affected and would need to be evacuated. Farmers would lose their crops. Their grounds and crops would be infected with radioactive particles. People's property values would decline if their homes were in the 50-mile radius, and it would drive people away from moving to this area. Who wants to live close to a nuclear power plant?
We are at our 3 minutes, so, yeah.
I'm sorry?
The 3-minute timer did go off.
I
Three
went-
minutes did go, yeah, it did go off, yeah. the
It did
timer.
go off,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am, yeah. If you want to wrap up, go ahead and finish. your
Sure, I can
concluding, yeah.
wrap up really quickly.
Yeah.
We have to keep in mind that we have a lot of weather-related things in this area. So what if the nuclear power plant is here, and here comes a tornado? Bam! Then the nuclear power plant is gone. Then there's nuclear proliferation. We have a problem with terrorists, could break into the plant and steal nuclear weapons. And the public perception is negative. In finality, let me say this. There are no price hikes on sunlight and no embargoes on wind. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I have copies for you.
Okay. All right. I'll move to receive those.
Second
All
that.
right. Motion by Binger, second by Carper. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Passes down. All right. Go ahead. Next up, if anybody wants to speak, just come to the mic. And remember, we just need your name, yeah. The new updated Iowa law is just your name, no address. So that's all.
My name is Joanne Sadler, and I just wanted to comment on something that was talked about last week about how with the potential hopeful closure of a coal plant in our county, that we would need another source. And we do not get our energy just from our own county. We're not a little kingdom that we have to produce our own energy. If you're on REC, you're getting your energy from North Dakota. The wind energy is being sold to other states, so the coal plant has no bearing on. So I just wanted to address that because that was a comment made. And I also served on the Board of Adjustment for a number of years. So I just find this out of character to be discussing this, wasting people's time when there is no applicant. You know, normally, like where you had an applicant for commercial solar, it went through this process because there was an actual applicant. There's no need for this to be even discussed. And then I wanted to talk about your resolution that you had, the 18th of July, 2023, where it was about energy. And one of the items you had was economic and dependable forms of energy. You had mindfulness for landowners and families who reside on the land, a commitment to land use that does not take production ground out of agricultural use, and the safety of citizens and families. This is a resolution your board has approved. And so as far as economic, renewables are the cheapest energy source, definitely not nuclear. Mindfulness of landowners. I don't think any landowner wants a nuclear power plant as their neighbor. It would most likely take ag land out of production, and the safety of citizens. I think all the other speakers have already addressed that issue, would not be safe. So, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, hello.
Kenneth Kroll. I'm going to break away from a lot of the folks here that I normally agree with. Sorry, guys. But I am not an expert. I'm not a scientist. I am not a technician, but I am the son of a machinist mate who's worked on these reactors my entire life. And there are about 100 currently operating reactors in the United States commercially.
Just make sure, just address the chair, yeah. Technically,
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good.
And 100 about operated by the United States military by people that are barely more than children, folks that are younger than me, safely for a century. So when people talk about safety, obviously it needs to be held to the highest standard, and it is. And there's no evidence that it won't be. Now, when it comes to the other problems, I can agree with, right? Like, the water's a big one. There's a plant 2 hours south of here that had to close because it didn't have sufficient water. That's very real. But that's not something that we should close off the possibility to, because this is the thing that industry is asking for. I work in tech. Tech companies are asking for nuclear power for base load power. And that's what it takes to have more than just a packing plant in Sioux City. Like, that's just what it is. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? All right.
Doyle Turner, Mobile, Iowa. So I think that there's some confusion within the community as to what we're really doing here. To kind of go to Joanne Sadler's point that this is unnecessary, right now there's a case that's being appealed. They lost their appeal, and it's Summit Carbon Solutions against Shelby County, where Shelby County did not have all of their permits in place when the CO2 pipeline came in, and they changed their ordinance, and as far as they could tell, they followed the letter of the law, but they can't make their ordinance stick. A big part of making your ordinance, making your rules stick, is doing it before the applicant shows up. If the applicant shows up and you have what we currently have, it truly is the Wild West. They can come in, the federal government will control the whole thing, and Woodbury County will have zero say. So I understand that people have some concerns, but this is actually a way to give the public the ability to address those concerns if and when an applicant shows up. So this is how we protect our local government. This is how we protect our rights. This is how we protect being able to have a say in what happens in our backyards, is by being proactive and putting rules like this in place. So if we were to deny this, that does not stop any nuclear facility from coming in, because the federal government has the final say. If we deny this, it just means that we will have no say. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Fritzmeyer, and I'd like to talk about the apples and oranges here. So last time when I spoke last week, I spoke about wind and solar and the fact that they are readily available. And you as supervisors have said we need new energy generation in Woodbury County. Isn't that right? Yeah, we need the new energy. And so we have it readily available. Sun is shining out there today. The breeze is nice that cools us off on a day like today. And we're going to need a variety of energies. But right now, this day today, the most cost-effective energies that are available for Woodbury County are wind and solar energies. And I know some of you sat on the supervisors board when the decisions were made some years ago that, and restrictions, were put on wind and solar pretty much to make it very difficult for anybody to have these put on their property. And so that was restricting the freedom of landowners here in Woodbury County. The people, there were applications that were made to Mid-American Energy, that they had people lined up to, you know, to go through the process of having it all, you know, done according to the regulations. And unfortunately, you know, I've made mistakes in my life. I mean, I used to smoke cigarettes when I was in 20 years old. And I had the ability, you know, the power to change my mind and make a different decision. I probably wouldn't be here today if I hadn't changed my decision. And I'd ask you, please, to really seriously consider, you know, easing the restrictions here and, you know, bringing in the power that's available at most cost-effective, you know, price. Now, Mid-American recently bought a bunch of wind power turbines over in, where is it, next door where Lamar's is, in Plymouth County. And they're invested. They're friends of all of ours, you know, and we want to be in friendly relations with each other and with the county, everyone in the county. So I would encourage you, please, to just, you know, consider, you know, changing the course and making things better for Woodbury County.
Thanks, Bob. All right. Anybody else? We don't want to belabor the moment, but if this is your chance, come on down.
Hi, my name's Tom Stock. I'm from Sioux City, and I've been in several nuclear facilities. I had friends in college that were in engineering, nuclear engineering, so I've been into research facilities. I got to do some videography at the Callaway Nuclear Power Plant in central Missouri when it was under construction, learned the safety concerns and all that. And I appreciate the idea too of learning about the small modular reactors that are like 5 to 10 years away that could be more likely than the giant towers that we've seen in the past. You know, producing a smaller amount of power possibly for data centers or something like that. I moved back to Sioux City about 16 years ago from eastern Iowa. Got to see the Duane Arnold nuclear power plant outside Cedar Rapids, steaming away in the winter and all that with its tower. My concern about any kind of nuclear power, and I appreciate what people have said about nuclear waste half-life, things like that. I understand that. And those are concerns. When we're talking about a populated area, we're talking about next to a major waterway, things like that. In case of any accident, we're talking about transportation of waste at some point. But we saw last night 125 mile an hour winds just north of us. And we're seeing predictions of 75 mile an hour winds or more just south of us and southwest of us in Nebraska. I saw the Duane Arnold power plant damaged in 2020 from a derecho. So my concern in any kind of nuclear consideration in this county is we have high winds. We've seen a tornado hit a power plant already in this area some years ago. So any consideration of a nuclear facility of any size really needs to look at not only the physical ground environment, the waterways, things like that, but also what our meteorological conditions are. We have tornadoes, we have derechos, we have all kinds of fun stuff here that could be possible ways that things would be compromised. So please add that to your list of considerations on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. All right, well, not seeing anybody else. We're not scary, I promise. Okay. Oh, well, No, you submitted yourself, so we're good, yeah. You submitted your information, we're good with that, that's okay. Yeah. All right, well, not seeing anybody else moving to the mic, all right, I will move to close the public hearing, if there's no one else here.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Dietrich to close the public hearing. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, all opposed, say nay. Motion passes 4-0. Before we get on to some comments, let's go to item B here. Dan, if you want to get up and share us item B. Item B is to approve changes to the draft zoning ordinance text amendments to make it clear that the conditional use permit application is only allowed for consideration within the GI zoning district and prohibited in all other districts, and to remove the reference to the notification distance language concerning utility scale solar energy systems. So you just want to give us an update, why this was inserted. As a
Just some
second.
clarity
Yeah.
why this was added. The zoning commission, when they looked at the language, we were kind of looking at housekeeping items to pull the ordinance together to kind of include what was done previously on the solar. The solar has all the correct separate or notification distances and everything, but we felt that it wasn't within the scope of the nuclear debate, so that was basically removed. And you would have seen in the backup materials, there was the memo in there that said, okay, go with this language. So I just wanted to shed light that this is meant to make it clear that this is for general industrial, prohibited in all other districts, and to basically remove that utility language just to put it back in order for what the scope of the debate is as far as the noticing and everything from that perspective.
Just a language change, right? Okay, all right. All right, thanks, Dan. I'll move to approve that.
Second that.
All right, motion by Behringer, second by Carper for item B. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 4-0 to that. Item B, well, item C, actually, that'd be item C, is to approve the second reading of the zoning ordinance text. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Just as an update reminder, right, there's no current applicant. There's no one that is, pressing to build. And once again, this gives us the ability to deny or approve an applicant. Then they'd have to go through planning and zoning, correct, Dan, Board of Adjustment, and then it's have to be approved by the feds, and the feds, at the end of the day, do have the overarching control. But this is just to clear the ordinance. So just to be clear, Woodbury County's not building anything. We don't have the money to build. It's not us. This is just to be able to approve or deny if someone went to apply, a private company or a private individual. That's what we're doing to make sure. So, like it was said by Mr. Turner, Shelby County is dealing with lawsuits because they changed their ordinance mid-pipeline. And so this is what we're trying to be proactive in this, to say that the county has a right to deny or approve a permit. So once again, just so everyone's clear, we're not looking to build anything tomorrow. We're not saying, yay, this is our one thing we want to bet the farm on, the proverbial farm on. We're just looking at clearing up our ordinance procedures. And so this is what this is about. So, but we want to thank everyone for their time and great public input. So any board comment, anything else? Or Dan, anything else from planning and zoning? Okay. All right. So with that, item C is to approve the second reading of the zoning ordinance, text amendments. And with that, I will move to approve that.
Looks like it says B, but we all understand it's C.
It's C, right, yeah, yeah. So I said item C, yeah. So I'll move to approve that reading.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Bittinger, second by Ung. Any discussion in there? Okay, all right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed say nay. Motion passes 4-0 on that. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Next week, we'll have another meeting, our last of our 3 public hearings on that. So thank you for your comments and input. And just once again, nothing's being built, we're just approving the ordinance to be able to approve or deny if we get an applicant. So, but good community feedback. So thank you for all being here. All right, on to number 8, planning and zoning. Once again, Dan Priestley, if you want to give us an update on this. This is to conduct a second public hearing to amend the zoning ordinance to comply with Iowa Senate File 592, signed into law on May 1st, 2025, which mandates allowing at least one accessory dwelling unit on lots with single-family residences and prohibits certain restrictive regulations necessitating updates to sections like the land use summary table, lot requirements, and number of residential structure. That's a mouthful, but yeah, kind of summarize that for us, yeah.
Yeah, this is basically the county's reaction to what the state had mandated the counties to do in terms of allowing for a second dwelling on a property that has a primary dwelling. There's some language in there that it has to be 1,000 square feet or 50% of the size of the primary dwelling. And so what this does is it opens it up to just a straight building permit and removes all the restrictions that previously would have been a conditional use for a relative or worker, enabling folks on the agricultural preservation, agricultural estates, non-agricultural residential and suburban residential properties to be able to receive building permits if they meet the appropriate criteria for a second dwelling.
Okay. All right, so with that, we'll open up the public hearing. If anyone speaks to this issue, just come forward, just state your name, and you have 3 minutes. And
Seeing none, I'll move to close, Mr. Chair.
all right, motion by Dietrich, I'll second that. Second to close the public hearing. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 4-0. Item B is to approve the second reading of the zoning ordinance text amendments, and so with that, I will move that.
Second.
All right. Motion by Bittinger, second by Carper. All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Dan, for that on Senate File 592. All right, number 9, from Board Administration, Ryan Erickson, is approval to reallocate $150,000 of fiscal year 26 CIP from real estate for Mobile Shop to Little Sioux Park Road. So Ryan, why don't you give us an update on that?
You know, originally on June 17th, the board approved the $150,000 for to be allocated for the purchase of the real estate for the Mobile Shop. But in further discussions with Jason Comiskey, and he's saying even though this was only $150,000, if the overall project was over $1.5 million, which we think it will be, this would require a public election. So right now, what I'm suggesting we do, currently we have $85,700 for the Little Sioux Park Road, with the remainder to come out of Lost. I'm suggesting we move that $150,000 to the Little Sioux Park Road, which then will free up Lost funds if the real estate purchase is desired.
Okay. All right. Any board questions for Ryan, our Budget and Finance Director? No? Okay. All right, I'll move approval to reallocate.
A second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Dietrich on that. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. All right, number 10 on the agenda is reports on committees. Yeah. Any report on committees from this week, anybody? Okay.
Just two.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, just to report on the zoning committee. We looked at the review of a conditional use permit for application of a burrow pit for Bruce and Rochelle Sorensen. Basically, they were removing a hill and wanted to construct a driveway, so. And then also, we were looking at a conditional use permit for an LED billboard sign, and that was what was done through zoning. Moving on to the community action. Community action, they have a budget. They receive about $12 million per year from federal funding for LIHEAP and other funding for their organization. They these budget reviews are being looked at by the federal government, and they usually use about $8 million for childhood development, early childhood development, and $2.4 million for LIHEAP in Woodbury County. And also, Community Action is also receiving a lot of food from the food bank, so they've been giving out bags of food to families that are in need, and these bags are like 40 pounds. And any child from age 3 to 18 would be eligible for that, so.
Okay. Thank you. All right, that's good to know.
Mr. Carver really bored a lot of the audience.
They left when I was
They
talking.
left when you were talking.
Oh,
It's
I'm so sorry.
bad luck on the timing for your committee report.
All right, no more committee updates here, none. I'll move on to citizen concerns. Any citizen concerns? You can come to the mic and state any other concerns you have about anything regarding the county. Ken's speaking skills, I don't know. No, yes, Auditor.
Yes, I just wanted to update the board regarding the special election. So we have been petitioned to have satellite locations for the election. So we'll be having 3 locations for satellites, and I'll be putting a press release on this. We have confirmation from the facilities that they are willing and the facilities are handicap accessible. So the first satellite location will be held Monday on August 18th at the Carpenters Union at 2200 West 19th Street from 1 p.m. till 7 p.m. And the second satellite location will be at the Community Theater at 1401 Riverside on Wednesday, August 20th from 1 p.m. till 7 p.m. And the third location will be held at Long Lines on Saturday, August 23rd from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. So by law, we have to hold these satellites for a minimum of 6 hours. And due to the scale of the election and the past history of the voter turnout, we've chosen to just have the 6 hours for each of those satellite locations. The petition request identifies the location of the satellite location, and then I determine the date and the times of that voting. So that's where we're at right now, and as I said, I'll get a press release with the details out so that it can be more public, and we'll get it on our website also.
Okay, all right, thank you, Otter. Sounds good. All right, any other citizen concerns? All right, seeing none. Okay, we'll keep moving on. Board concerns, any board concerns? I have a few. Any other board concerns? I've got 4, so if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw a plug out there for the Woodbury County Fair. It's really kind of kicks off with the grandstand events tonight with the rodeo, and everything else kind of opens up tomorrow. So there'll be some food stands open and grandstand event tonight. So hope to see people out there. Should be a good week.
Yep. It's always a good week. Go to the fair. It's always good.
I'm not gonna say anything before you leave.
All right, I've got a few things. Just next week, for any agenda submissions, please send those to Mark. I'll be gone the next 2 weeks, so for Thursday, August 7th submissions and Thursday, August 14th, please send to Mark. Make sure to copy Karen and Heather on all those as well. I may be able to call in next week to the board, but I may not. I'll let you guys know, but definitely the second week of August, I will not be able to call in. So next week I'll be in Florida, so please pray for me. I'll be by the beaches, so, but yeah. It'll be rough in it, but we'll see if I can call in. All right, secondly, I got an updated, thanks to the Sergeant Bluff Advocate, had an article here this week. And the article is titled, "What Happens in Cerro Gordo County Will Affect the Entire State." And this is from Chris Watts, the Cerro Gordo County Supervisor current. It's about supporting home rule. There is a commercial solar company named River City Energy Solar LLC. They are going directly to the Iowa Utilities Commission around the county to get around their local county ordinances and local control. So they're petitioning and trying to use the IUC as a leverage point to vacate the home rule policy, which Iowa has in our Constitution. And so the supervisor there, Chris Watts, brought this up, and I just bring it up once again. But we have fought against the pipelines and other state control, specifically a 3-person board that's not elected that could override a county's ordinances. And so Cerro Gordo County Supervisors are asking people to reach out to the state to voice concern, and that's not right to have an individual company bypass the county ordinances and regulations and local control. So I thought that was interesting in light of our pipeline discussion and lawsuit, and that the IUC once again is the center point of overriding the duly elected officials by the people of a county potentially. And so I thought that was really interesting. Next updates, county morgue. And speaking with Kenny, just for the board knows, we are looking at potentially moving the Veterans Affairs out of the Triview building back to the 3rd floor. That was vacated by the county attorney's office, and making the Triview building the county morgue potentially. We have some meetings tomorrow to look at the physical building and all that. That would save the county a huge outlay of not having to purchase another building. It meets a lot of the needs, but I'm working with Kenny and our MEI and our Dr. Briner with that to look at the building. So just the board knows, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have an idea if that building can work. But everyone in there is aware of the potential move and is on board, realizing that's what's best for the county and the taxpayers, where we don't have to spend any more money to purchase another building. So I'll have an update for you guys in 2 weeks on that. And then lastly, just an update for the board. A year ago, was it a little over a year ago? We gave Agape Community Services some of the opioid funds, $150,000 to help with the startup and just the raising funds to build a residential addiction treatment facility here in Woodbury County. I serve as board chair on that, but I want to give a shout out to Senator Alon's, Senator Costello. He's the HSS Appropriation Chair, and then Greg Baker, who works there with the Church Ambassador Network, working at the Capitol, just to encourage all of our elected officials. And then specifically HHS not Secretary, but Director Kelly Garcia. Agape was awarded $2 million from the federal opioid settlement fund uses. They reviewed and looked at what we were doing and realized for this part of the state, Woodbury County has some really extreme needs and regarding men that are in addictive behaviors, addicted to opioids and other drugs, stuff like that. So just want to say thanks to the board, Believe in Agape, and also thanks to Senator Alon, Senator Costello, Greg Baker, and HS Director Kelly Garcia. We just received that check in the mail on Friday, so it was really neat to hold a $2 million check in your hands. But it's not going to me, but it's going to help the men here in Sioux City. And so with that puts us right at the mark. We should be able to break ground in September on the facility that's right next to the new law enforcement center. And so we are waiting to hear back. We just applied for another $1 million grant, and so we are praying and asking for the Lord's favor in that. If we get that, we can break ground in September. But I just want to say thanks to the board for supporting that measure last year, but just want to give an update to the community about that. So with that, any other board concerns or updates? Okay.